the youth governors, you will see the vision, the purpose. You will see how they are working. And a typical example is the governor of ENUGU State. You know, the governor of ENUGU State, yes, of course, he is in his productive age.
Exactly.
Productive age. You see, when you get to 60, you should be retiring. You should give opportunity for the younger ones to come up with innovative ideas, full of energy, ready to move. You will see Peter Mba, 24 hours. The man is working. The man is doing. In fact, the other time I had an opportunity of meeting him, I said to him, Your Excellency, if we go by the level of development you are doing in Enugu, what will you do in the second tenor? He said in the second tenor, we create another job. We are not yet tired. You know, he will be able to say such because he is still within the bracket of his productive age. So, political leaders endorsing the older men, I don't think it is an ideal. It is because of corruption. The same thing I'm talking about. You know, when money is shared, you know, most of the times our political leaders are not looking at what they are to offer. They are looking at what they are to gain. Forgetting the fact that the way they are dealing with this nation, their own children will be part of the heat tomorrow.
Are you sure they will?
Of course, they definitely they will. One day they will still come back home. You see, I don't even fancy the idea of abroad. If you train your child abroad, you are not the owner of that child. You cannot compare the African culture and African value with the Western world. It is practically impossible. So those of them moving their children over there, maybe one day their children will come with gun and silence them once they discover the truth.
Okay. Let's take a look at what happened in the past. Let's talk about the NSAS movements that happened and the End Bad Governance protests that happened. Do you think that these things, you know, sort of contribute to youth not wanting to be involved in politics? I mean, with the fact that people had died in these processes, all in the name of wanting a better Nigeria for us.
Well, you wouldn't say that this may be a factor or one of the reasons why the youth want to participate. In fact, there is a plan that is ongoing. I think 30 days after, they want to take care of, you know, march from church to church, from organization to organization. Just give us your voice. Let the youth vote. Let the youth count. The protest is ongoing. You wouldn't say that the youth, because of the saga of the NSAS saga, the NBAC governance saga is actually the problem. No, it is actually a sign that there is a revolution that is coming. If you look at what happened, even when they try to silence these voices, the voices are still coming up. And I believe if the youth will maintain the tempo, one day there will be change in this nation.
Okay, so given the prevalence of corruption in Nigeria currently, how can young political leaders maintain ethical standards? The young ones that are already there, how can they maintain this standard that we are looking up to, that we are not getting from the current leaders now?
Well, number one is unity. Number two is organizing seminars to educate the ignorant ones. Because the ignorant ones are the ones these older men use as talks. Are you getting it? Sensitization. You know, coming to the fact that, hey, if we allow this nation to go through this channel, we're going to lose it tomorrow. Just educate the ignorant ones, come together, remove tribalistic zones and all those things off. Let us understand that we have no other nation but this nation. My sister, if you travel across the nation and then you come back to this Nigeria, you will cry. You know why? You will cry because I have traveled to some part of this of the world, and I have come with this understanding there is no youth as talented, as dogged, as resilient like Nigerian youth, ready to work, very, very creative. Are you getting it? So I think that one of the things is for the youth to gather together and sensitize each other and be able to break the walls of tribalism. Hey, forget about you and Hausa. There is no hunger called Hausa hunger. There is no hunger called Yoruba hunger. There is no hunger called Igbo hunger. There is no hunger called Calabar hunger. Hunger is hunger, and it's dealing with everybody. My sister, somebody uploaded something the other time. The building, he used 18 million to build in 2012. That same building, you will not use 80 million to build it in the current situation of this nation. So you wouldn't come up. Anybody who have that understanding as a youth must wake up to responsibility. It is hard time we stop this wickedness. If we find out older men who have the baptism of human life, when I talk about baptism of human life, I'm talking about those who have conscience. You see people passing through pain. You say, no, I am going there. You see, the worst part of it is that most of these leaders occupying these political positions, they have money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. Many of them have a lot of money. But they will look at this young generation coming. In fact, they have succeeded in killing the appetite for education. Because when you go to school and come out, you don't have a good job. Okay, look at it now. We have teachers. You cannot compare the welfare of a teacher with the welfare of a political leader in this nation. You cannot compare the welfare of a medical doctor with the welfare of political leader. Even journalists, people like you. You should be earning well, you should be eating well, but it's not forthcoming. Because a certain group of people thought that they are the owner of this nation and they will be milking the nation. It is hard time. In fact, let me give this as a prophecy. Time shall come, the revolution will even start from their houses. Their sons and their daughters will come after them. So it is hard time the youth gather together and sensitize others. So let's come together and become one and take this country from destruction, because the way we are looking at it, the country is almost, in fact, Nigeria is in coma.
Okay, so what would you say so far are the dangers that we faced without youth involvement in politics?
Of course, you are seeing it critically well. Dangers is retrogression. We will not move forward. We keep going backwards. Number two, we are not going to be able to meet up with the world economic standard. Number three, if you look around now, you see that tech is taking the center stage. The youth have the brain. All it takes, they have the potentials to drive. Nigeria is a blessed country. Nigeria is a wonderful country. That is why if you go down to the history lane, in the days of Zik, in the days of this Obasanjo them, Abacha them, even Buhari, the first time he was the president of Nigeria, he was within his 30s. All these leaders were within their 20s and their 30s. And check their track records. You will see how far they were able to bring honor and glory to Nigeria. You know, in the 80s and the 70s, as we heard, going to America, they are begging you to come to America. Life was good. And these leaders were at the youthful stage. So you cannot compare them with what these people are doing in this current situation, in this current nation. So the danger is hunger. The danger is robbery. The danger is the insecurity that we are still having. I don't know whether you know that what fuels insecurity is joblessness. Imagine somebody who has something meaningful. Something meaningful. Will the person come out and carry gun? If somebody has something meaningful, even these political leaders cannot hire them. Imagine somebody earning 2 million a month, 3 million a month, 10 million a month.
You'll be too busy
and then somebody will come up and say, come and take 500,000 and go and kill somebody. You will look at that person and call the person an idiot. Or you ask the person to bring his own child. Because all of them send their children abroad and they are now uselessing the talent. Most of our youth have entered into cybercrime. Some of them have entered all this Yahoo, all these things. With what they are doing in that Yahoo world, that is to tell you the kind of brain Nigerians have. If they engage them in the positive direction, Donald Trump will come to spend holidays in Nigeria.
Absolutely. Since we're talking about technology, this is the era of social media. Technology has gone so fast. Everything is advancing. How do you think we can use this particular system as a leverage on increasing youth population, youth involvement in the Nigerian political system?
It is all left to the leaders of this nation. Last time, Mba had a large seminar on that direction at the ICC hall. You see, when I talk about Peter Mba, I'm not here to campaign about Peter Mba. I am a clergy. I should stand on the truth. That young man is hitting it right. I wish that Nigerian leaders should emulate Governor Peter Mba. They would take the youth to the next level. May it interest you to know that I'm leading a youth group called ENUGU Youth, ENUGU Innovative Youth. I gathered them together, and then we started relating. How do we help you? How do we do this? How do we do this? So let them roll out programs, tech seminars, where they can give out free computers, establish job opportunities. You know, I'm a pastor, and there is this current crisis going on. Pastors should close down churches and build factories. All these reactions are coming because the government, they are not doing the needful. If they do the needful, we'll have less job. Do you know how many people I pay their school fees? Do you know how many people I pay their house rent? Do you know how many families I fight for as I'm standing? So when we talk about the corruption and these issues in Nigeria, it peels my skin. I want to go to some of them and drag them out. I'm telling you, I'm damn serious about it. Drag them out. I tell them, my brother, you are not doing something. Another person that is doing it well in this nation, in this side of the world, is Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka. I was in one of the seminars, technology. He rolled out computers and was helping the youth. So I believe that if our leaders will look into the future, look into the activities, and engage this mind, Nigeria have people with great sense. I have never seen such anywhere in the world. I have traveled to some places, and when you get there, you see that it's like when you talk about China and all those things, you talk about South Africa and all those things, the people controlling their wealth are Nigerians. Not even them. Nigerians. So if our leaders come down here, engage the youth, bring them, have a roundtable meeting, discussion, and then look at how to, promote them, support them, encourage them financially, creating opportunities for them to dive into, not using them for selfish, destructive politics. 2-7 is coming now. And then
they are mobilizing them.
But if they give them the right direction, Nigeria will be very peaceful.
So are there really notable success stories of young politicians, basically in Nigeria, that you'd like to use as an example, for other people to see and understand that there are young people that are out there and they are getting it right?
You mean politically or?
Politically.
Politically.
Yes.
Well, you see, I am not really into politics to know so many of them, but I know there are some of them. I have my brother, Honorable Sam Chimobiatu. Chimobiatu is almost of the same age with me. He is a member, House of Representatives, currently representing ENUGU North and South. And the young guy is doing extremely well. The other time he went to one primary school, renovated it, paid school fees for WAEC students and all those things. And the guy is hitting the floor, he's getting it. And people like our governor also is within the bracket of a youth. Remember I told you he's still in his productive age. And then we have the Commissioner for Youth and Sports in ENUGU, yes. Lloyd Ekweremadu is also a youth. We have a one-time member of House of Assembly from Akwa Ibom, Luke. That young man was something else. Luke is still within that circle. And we have so many of them. I think the current local government chairman of ENUGU South is still within his 30s. Is a youth. There are some of them that are actually...
You've made a whole list right now. I mean, for someone that said you don't know, you've made an entire list.
This is just within.
Yes. Let's talk about political education and mentorship. How will this foster this movement? I mean, to hold leadership roles.
Of course, without mentor, you cannot rise. Life is made in a way, wherever you want to be in this life, somebody is already there. And wisdom teaches you to learn from such person. But the question is, can we bring the older ones as mentors and bridge the gap, connect them to the younger ones? The younger ones must have an understanding that you don't just jump into leadership. You have to follow. You have to serve. That is why we love the government of Dr. Chimaroke Namani. Dr. Chimaroke Namani, when he was the governor of Enugu State, produced a lot of people, including the people we are seeing now. But unfortunately, there are many people now that have no interest in producing the next generation. Rather, what they do is, when I'm dying, I bring my son. When I'm going, I bring my son. So there is need for that mentorship. It is very, very, very necessary. That is why every youth must join political party and then get connected to somebody that share the same idea and the same spirit with you, somebody you will honor, somebody that is open to you, somebody you can follow, somebody you can serve, so that you become a better person tomorrow, politically.
Interesting. Do you think that there should be like a youth quota system?
Of course, it is necessary. With that, we can be able to reduce some of these agitations. When youth are given some percentage, responsibilities, this number of youth, this office is meant for youth, this one is meant for youth, specifically. And then you are now nurturing them to take over from the center stage.
Exactly. I think that's a good idea.
Very, very good idea, if they can venture towards that line.
Interesting. So what long-term benefits could Nigeria actually gain from having more youths represent us in the global stage?
It will help the nation not to collapse. Yes, because most importantly, you know, there is something I would have want to say before getting into this. Looking at our topic, the future of the youth in the political leadership of this nation. You should have asked me, do they have future?
I mean, the question left me speechless as well.
You see, why am I laughing? I'm laughing because Nigeria need deliverance as a country. But having said that, let me return back to your question. If the youth are being accommodated in the system, transition will become so easy. When this leadership is about to go, they will not find it difficult getting somebody that will replace them. Because you have someone already. You know, if you look at the biblical principles, when Moses was leading, there was a Joshua. And when it's time for God to take Moses, Joshua was already there. And God said to him, transfer the power. Because the spirit is already in him. What spirit? Having followed Moses for a long period of time, must have learned some skills and tactics and ways, and then must have seen the error and the weaknesses of Moses, and then ready to work on that in order to have a better and a greater leadership. Another example is Elijah and Elisha in the scripture. There is this connection, there is this connectivity. So it is very, 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 very necessary. And if we must get it right, let us remove tribe, or this is my brother. Let us give leadership to somebody that is capable of handling it.
Since we've been having this conversation, we've been talking about the government, the system, the youth itself. Are they helping matters? Are they even trying at all to be involved?
You see, the greatest mountain under the sun is the mountain of ignorance. Why I don't want to blame the greater percentage of the youth is that many of them are yet to understand the system. You see, when the enemy want to destroy you, they will deny you access to knowledge. I believe that once they have the knowledge, and that is why you are seeing this revolution coming up, the EndSARS, and bad governance, and the one that is about to come. The youth are becoming awake. Are you getting it? To their responsibility. They are seeing their right. They are coming up. But we have some bad eggs amongst them. You know, in every 12, there must be a Judas. So there are some who, once you give them peanuts, once you give them just take 500,000, go and settle yourself, they will just back off and start fighting against each other. But I believe the greater percentage of Nigerian youth, they are waking up to responsibility. And if you watch and keep watching and continue to watch, you will see the revolution one day.
So looking forward, what do you think will be the fate of Nigerians, not just the regular Nigerians, but the fate of young Nigerians that are still yet to get involved in politics, people that have the passion for it?
Of course, with what is happening, they have hope. Their prayer will be, let this current youth succeed. I believe that this war that is on, war, not violent war.
Yes.
So that somebody will not come and send DSS after me. If the current youth succeed, the upcoming generation will have a place to stand. That is why the best time to fight for this change is now, not tomorrow. Those who are fighting now are not necessarily fighting for themselves. They are actually fighting for the younger generation.
Okay, let's talk about looking at the global stage. How can Nigerian youth, leverage international networks and partnership in order to help aid with this?
Well, they're already harvesting that opportunity. Like as I said, I have traveled to some parts and I have seen the effect and the impact of our youth globally. What is actually frustrating them is the bad image of our nation. That is just their problem. They have the understanding, they have the zeal, they have the skill, they have the potential, and they are already pushing. That is why our leaders should help us salvage our image so that we can go out and compete with the rest of the world.
So what would you say about the people in diaspora, Nigerians in diaspora that have potentials like this, that if most of them are even established over there?
Let them come home. There is no place like home. They should not be there telling us how life is sweet there. They should make arrangements on how to better our place. There are great brains ready to work and interface, synergize with them, if they can give them that opportunity. Staying there and making condemning words, this and that and that and that. They should understand that there is no place like home. No matter how far you establish yourself there, you need to come back home and help the people over here. You see, Nigeria is a better place. This is the only place we don't hear earthquake, hurricane, and all these natural disasters that is eating and hitting the global world over there. It's not here. Here is very, very better. So they should come back and invest in this nation. We've not lost hope totally.
At all.
We believe that there is a better tomorrow.
Okay, so innovative strategies from the political angle, how can they employ in order to engage youths?
Well, it revolves in what we have been discussing: creating opportunities, creating businesses, business atmosphere, creating, building up, factories, companies, where you can employ this, giving opportunity for the foreign world to come and invest. And that is why we need, if the foreigners must come and invest in this nation, we really need to tackle insecurity, because insecurity is one other factor that is fighting development in this nation. And if insecurity must go, the youth must be engaged. We must find them something doing. We also must engage them in the security network of this nation, because it takes a criminal to arrest a criminal.
Is that so?
Of course, yes. It takes a criminal to arrest a criminal.
To arrest a criminal. Looking for
Most of these people causing all this mayhem in this nation, they are not hidden. There are people that knows them. And some of our leaders may know them.
possibly.
Yeah, they may know them. I use the word may. Because little thing they will come and deny. So they may.
So we're still talking about youth in the Nigerian political leadership. In the times like this, the 2027 election is coming up, and we are hoping for what happened in 2023. Youth came out in mass to vote. We had our expectations, and you can see that we were robbed right before our eyes. Do you think that this coming 2027 election, we're going to have that kind of crowd from the youths again?
I believe so. In fact, 2027 will be about a particular political party, I don't want to call their name, versus Nigerian youth. That revolution is coming. It's true that they rob us, the youth, at the center. But there are other places youth were able to make some statement. No, there is a lot of changes. Especially in ENUGU. Some of these political hawks, I call them political parasites, political vultures. There are some of these political vultures, political criminals, political... Oh, Jesus Christ. Most of them were disarmed because they saw the youth walked out and they were not ready to collect money. Peanuts. They will take your money, shake hand, and vote the person they want to vote. I believe there is going to be another revolution again coming 2027. But anyone that will buy the heart of the youth must promise the youth that he will defend the vote. Not let's leave it, it shall be well, let's go to God. You don't take power from Nigeria. If you must take power, you have to fight for it.
And that was clearly.
And the youth are ready to fight. Not that somebody is just pressing on them. Calm down, calm down, calm down. You don't. With the way Nigeria is not corrupt, or Nigeria is corruption. If you want to deal with that corruption, you need force. Are you getting it? So the youth will need somebody that will tell them, if we risk our lives and come out to vote, you will promise us that after doing this, you will match it up.
Yes.
Not you go
because
to the
really,
like
really
there is one governor of a particular state who was suspended, and then people, the community people, the village people, the state people rallied around him, and then he came and he said, have they asked him whether he loved? That is an insufferable insolence. It's an insult. Is an insult to the people of that state that your people came together around you to defend you, and you are telling them they are complicating issues. Then you were never ready to be a leader. You are just
rather you disappointed the people that voted.
Of course, yes.
Power.
So if such a thing will happen in Nigeria in 2027, the youth would want to see the caliber, the ability of the person. Like in ENUGU, when we came out in ENUGU, Peter indeed is Peter. Peter is Okute. And Peter really worked out wonders. People came out in their mass, in their number, and then the man delivered. And you see, one day I said, I thank God I voted for you. Because the man, for the first time, we can on television and see ENUGU State doing this. The governor of ENUGU State say this. The governor of ENUGU State say this. And it's actually happening. It gives me pride. I walk with my two shoulders high.
I mean, Reverend, just as you said now that the Nigerian youth come out in mass. On the other hand, don't you think like the level of disappointment that we got the previous time is so discouraging that you might want to relent?
If we relent, then we are cowards. Rome is not built in a day. We tried it, we saw what happened, and we must have seen the errors, and we are ready to work and come out again. I believe the youth will come. It's true that there is going to be a lot of manipulation in 2027. There will be a manipulation, but I believe with the current heat, my sister, the hunger in this nation is biting. The only thing you can do is to come out to vote. They don't have to beg you to come and vote. We will vote. We will defend the vote. We will get to the INEC office. Let them do what they want. But the INEC leaders should also understand that the life of their children is also at stake. Police people should also understand that the life of their children. Do you know that the youth, they are even working for the police? They are working for their betterment now. Because if the police have the understanding of the activities of the youth, they will not allow some criminals to use them against the youth. But the youth is not. How much are they being paid? You think that they pay Nigerian police very, very well, and some of them, let my mouth keep quiet. Say Nigeria is very, very wonderful.
Honestly, we could go on and on. Okay, just before we round off, the new bill, the bill has passed the second reading.
Yes.
So that's our next discussion. But I just want to get your opinion on it, about the compulsory voting. What do you think about it? Is it achievable?
Is it achievable? By faith, we can achieve it. But the problem is not bringing the people to vote, but assuring them that their vote will count.
Absolutely.
If you can assure them that their vote will count, you don't even need to pass a bill. They will come out.
Like we did the last time. We didn't need a bill.
We didn't need any bill. People clustered everywhere. Crowd everywhere. In my own unit, I looked at the crowd that gathered from morning. I pitied them. I have to start buying food for everybody. Please eat and relax yourself. Eat, relax. We must stay here until everything is over.
Thank you so much. Our time is fast spent. Our topic of discussion was youth in Nigerian political leadership. If you're just joining us, please go back, replay, and watch, like, comment. Always give your comments. And our guest was, or rather is, Reverend Chimobi Aniwene, who is Redemption Church Worldwide. Thank you so much for your input.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So insightful.
Thank
and
you.
We'll have conversations like this in the future. We'll go on a short break, and when we are back, we'll have our next conversation for the evening. Stay with us.
We are local.
We are right now with the wife of the man that was
Why the main market is in chaos. People
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
we have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket. local.
We are right now with the wife of the man that was
Why the main market is in chaos? People are
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Technology is being increasingly used to transform governance and improve the lives of citizens. This is done through the use of digital tools, platforms, and data to enhance efficiency, transparency, and accountability in government operations and services. Apart from enhancing the tracking and monitoring of government activities, it offers citizens more opportunities to participate in governance. Speaking at the launch of the Solution Lens, the Anambra State Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Chiamaka Nnake, described the platform as one of the most significant governance innovations in the history of the state. She said the platform offers people of the state an opportunity to hold the government accountable.
So we think that beyond, because that's the only way we can reach, we can actually get through to everybody. Yes, I know that in your community, at least, even if you don't get to see at least someone in the community can be the spokesperson from the community and we can hear their voice. So we want someone in Olubanasa to be able to tell us on a daily basis what is happening over there. How can some governments actually get involved in their daily living in Olubanasa? So this is not just trying to get governance made easy, getting the citizens and government on the same table. In fact, the platform is a table where everybody gets to decide, okay, this is what is happening in this community. This is how we feel that this can benefit us.
Commissioner for Information Dr. Lomefo noted that the initiative is in line with the mantra of the state government, which is everything technology, technology everywhere. He, however, said the platform can only be effective and successful with effective engagement of the citizenry. The co-chair of the Open Government Partnership in Anambra State, Chris Azo, said Solution Lens aligns with the principles of open governance, especially in giving citizens active voice in democratic governance. He commended the state government for adopting global standards in transparency and citizen participation.
Citizen engagement, okay? So take up this challenge. And the other thing I want to say is that we have civil society, but we again have community-based organization. And most of these things are local. These projects, you go all over the place. This administration, I'm not saying it because we are partnering with this administration, but this is the administration I've seen that in every nook and cranny of our society, you see government projects.
Other civil society organizations and community development groups who witnessed the official launch expressed delight at the turn of events, but however voiced some concerns.
This is a development and dreams comes true. They've been clamoring that solution is here, solution is here, solution is here. But what we've just done today is to prove to a point that actually solution is here, because the citizens that we represent, coming from CSO angle, the citizens will be happy because we don't really need to spend so much now traveling from one place to the other, doing budget pull-out, tracking budget and public projects. Right now, when you use solution link and hashtag, when you go through the link, you can also engage a ministry that you want to visit what they've done. When you do that, you go back to the field now to verify, to say that, to ascertain what is also already in the public domain using government platform.
It is one of the hallmarks of democracy and good governance. It's giving the people, the citizens, globally, wherever they are, the digital space to really participate in the governance processes. And along with the government, they give feedback and, of course, get a response from the government on issues of concern to them. So it's a welcome development.
The integration of technology in governance no doubt enhances efficiency, transparency, and accountability, and gets the citizens more involved in decision-making, with the ultimate aim of improving governance outcomes. Precious Chagora, reporting for Signature TV News.
We are local.
We are right now with the wife of the man that was
Why the main market is in chaos. People are
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the bill by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
right now with the wife of the man that was
Why the main market is in chaos. People are
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Good evening and welcome back. This is Signature Evening on Signature TV. If you're just joining us, we already had a conversation about youth and involvement in politics. You can go back and you know, watch that and listen to it, and also give your review on it. You can leave us a comment, like, and share as well. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. We are always live on YouTube, and we are on SLTV channel 265 Signature TV. Due to popular demand, we are going to bring back an interview that we had previously on one of our previous interviews on Signature Evening on the operations of the NDLEA, like I said, due to popular demand. And our guest was Onwuwa Ibezimako Madu, who is the Deputy State Commander, Rehab and Counseling, NDLEA.
ENUGU NDLEA, Onwuwa Ibezimako Madu. You're welcome, Desi.
Good evening, ma. It's such a big pleasure to be here.
I was asked to find out from you the meaning of NDLEA, at least for civic studies' sake.
NDLEA is the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
Now that you have told us, what do you do?
There's this international convention, not just Nigeria alone, that saw that drug abuse and trafficking is a great menace, and the need to reduce this global scourge. And Nigeria is not an exemption. Youth restiveness, unemployment have led a lot of youth restiveness. A lot of youths have started experimenting on drugs, ranging from the primary type to the secondary type. And the spread is seriously alarming, is terrifyingly alarming. is a terrible situation.
You have just established that there is prevalence of drug abuse,
Yes.
especially among young people
Yes.
in Nigeria. How effective is your agency in curbing not just this abuse, but the trafficking itself? Because that's how drugs get into the hands of those who use them.
Thank you very much. Let us give this discourse a practical purview. What is the population of Nigeria? We are hearing that we are close to 200 million and counting. What is the population of NDLEA officers? I want to tell you that the ratio of NDLEA officers nationwide, I know the Nigerian police in ENUGU state, they are not less than 10,000 policemen. But the ratio of NDLEA officers before the Honorable Chairman Chief Executive, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, took over, were less than 5,000. So what does that tell you? 5,000 officers policing close to 200 million Nigerians. An uphill task. Because a couple of times I sit down and people ask me, drugs are everywhere. What is NDLEA doing? Jackie Chan did not come to Nigeria to train us, to teach you how to do combat without arms. And the people with arms, they are humans like me and you. And we do everything within our limited resources to combat crime. Nobody will be born by natural inheritance to combat crime. You are trained to combat crime. But there's something I need to tell you for free, because with the trainings we have, it is difficult for an NDLEA officer to see a drug activity and pretend it's not there. So we are doing everything within our possible best to nip this monstrous multi-headed hydra in the bud. I still maintain it's a very big problem. And as we go on, I'll tell you that it is not a war for only NDLEA. Parents need to join the war. Government need to show direction. Traditional rulers need to come forward. Market women, youths, and politicians need to give us direction. Let me give you a very simple example. Every drug dealer comes from a community. And every drug dealer, the target audience are the local vigilante, and they sponsor them. They give them the impression that the community don't care about you. They buy torchlights, buy phones, walkie-talkies and everything. So automatically, they pay their allegiance to these drug dealers. So by the time you're asking for information, a typical person in the community will not want to give you information, will not want to tell you what is happening, because that source of minute livelihood, you look at it that you're depriving him of it.
Drug dealers don't fall from the sky. And unfortunately, we have looked at ourselves as being parochial, defending our immediate environment against our values and cultures. So a typical youth will not come forward to give you information because he'll tell you, you want to arrest my brother. And he will see you as an outsider. And the moment you come and use intelligence-based information to make arrests, the community will even gang up against you to try to give the impression that what you're doing is wrong. But let us be honest with ourselves. You cannot subvert what is right for what is wrong. There is no relationship between sunshine and darkness. They are strange bedfellows, and they do not complement each other.
Now that it's obvious that you have less personnel to actually champion those cause, it's now pertinent to say that there is need for collaboration. How much of that do you get from sister agencies to start with?
Thank you very much. I said before the Honorable Chairman Chief Executive came on board, I was actually waiting for you to ask me this question. We're less than 5,000. But today, from every community in Nigeria, the Honorable Chairman Chief Executive have employed both graduate and secondary school personnel from every community, come local government in Nigeria. Right now we are getting towards the range of 15,000 personnel that are in the employment of the agency. So when you look at 5,000 to 15,000 is an improvement. And with the prompting, encouragement, and orientation of our chairman, I think we have hit the ground running. Why do I say so? Before now, we used to have a state drug abuse control committee. And before now, our area commands, you see one area commander covering like 4 to 5 local governments. But the chairman has made it as a matter of mandate that there should be representation in every local government. And the State Drug Abuse Control Committee have trickled down. We now have local government abuse control committees headed by wives of the local government chairman, the local government chairman, traditional rulers within the community. And there is something that I want to talk passionately about: the integrity test mechanism. The chairman have said that most women suffer domestic abuse. Most young men enter the university as drug addicts, and that has given rise to a lot of young men joining secret cults and polarizing the integrity and stability of the university community and the state. That is a policy now that is heavily driven, that before you enter the university, you'll be tested for drugs. Most families now, by the time you go to marry, you'll be tested, and they'll take the result of the test to the priest and to the pastors and to the church and to the community. Because a lot of families are breaking up, a lot of broken homes. And the woman will look at the man as being successful and a successful businessman, not knowing that he's a drug addict. So by the time that integrity test is conducted, even before the consummation of that marriage, they know his status. The woman, they know her status. So it is an all-encompassing project, and the chairman is very passionate about it. And most higher institutions in Enugu State now have keyed into this national drive, that before they give admission to a couple of young men and young women, they must be tested.
And that has also been extended to NYSC. I think it's still
beautiful. Beautiful. Now you see, you are our partner, and you have even taken the words out of my mouth. And I'm happy you are aware that our core members are now being tested. And the chairman...
Okay, I thought it was just a proposal.
No! It is practical and working.
Okay. Now, apart from your number of personnel, which is a huge challenge to combating drug trafficking and abuse, you didn't say anything about resources, the funding of your operations. I guess you guys have plenty money to work with.
The country is going through a process, and the middle managers course sponsored by the European Union, I learned something. They told us that when you're working, don't present your boss with problems. Present your boss with solutions. And that is what I've learned to do. But there is something I'll need to say to the public and to the good people of Enugu State, which my state commander, Commander Abel Sunu Wadahi, who is an apt and cooperative. He had been here in Enugu for about 6 years as head of operation and head of strike force, before the Honorable Chairman brought him back about 11 months ago to become the state commander in Enugu. And one of the things he has made a point to do is to go to those that are relevant, ranging from the state governor, and partner with the governor's wife and her NGO, Costos. To the best of my knowledge, he has gone around all the people that matter in Enugu, ranging from the Algon chairman to the Commissioner for Women and Gender Affairs, Commissioner for Health, Commissioner for Education, Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. These are the ones that I have within my purview. And he has been able to spread the need. Money will not solve drug problems, but it will help. Available statistics, as I speak with you, over 400,000 youths and persons in Enugu within the age range of 45 to 12 are actively involved in drugs in Enugu. Did you hear the statistics? Over 400,000. And what has NDLA done? My unit, we are like the preachers. You know, when you look to your left, you look to your right, you look back and forth, sin is all around us. So what would the preacher do? Close your eyes to sin. Drug is all around us. And we are preaching, stay away from drugs. So we need the collaboration from government, relevant stakeholders. Our job right now caters more on awareness, on advocacy, than arrests and seizures. We have over 150 pending cases of drug activity in Enugu.
Now, the people you're talking about are traffickers. You get them and you do not arrest them, or?
We arrest them. I said we have over 150
users.
Pending, not users.
Okay, pending
drug barons in Enugu.
Okay. Now, you were saying something about not arresting certain people. I was just trying to get it.
Not arresting who?
You said not arresting them, but getting them. I didn't.
No. What I said is the chairman have asked us to concentrate more because our people are uninformed and with limited information. You will get somebody smoking cannabis and he tell you that he's not aware there is a problem. I've been on the side of operations before I became a counselor. I just left as area commander of G River. I've been head of operations. I've been OC strike force. I've worked in almost all the local governments in Enugu. And you look at him, you see that he has given you a genuine information. You tell your guy, I know they like smoke cigarette. They like smoke Igbo. And you look at it that Igbo is not a problem. So that is a crusade that I have found myself in, to tell people that cannabis is a major problem because there is no crime committed in Enugu. Now look at the spate of kidnappings in Enugu. There is no crime. I dare anybody to convince me otherwise. There is no crime that is committed without some iota and influence of drugs. So it's not the time to play the ostrich. It's not happening. My children are doing well, and we don't have problem of drug in our family. But your community, tell me there's no drug in your community. I'll tell you, you're telling lies. Movement is like, you know, and young men are righteously indulging in it. And you see in a community, before you know, community generator where they take pump fuel for the community to have water missing. Solar lights missing. Raping of young girls rampant. Maiming of elderly women. We get little allowances that the children send to them on the rise. You know, every community, they're experiencing a lot of problems.
All of this related to drug use.
I am telling you, there is no crime or youth restiveness in any community that the underlying factor is not embedded in drugs. Quote me.
Let's look at your personnel. just like I don't know if this is true, but some persons have said that among those who are incarcerated in correctional centers, somehow drugs find their way into the prisons, and you find out that some of these persons also use illicit drugs. Prison officials have been accused, and there's some kind of accusation of corruption among your personnel. I don't know if it's a case of within every 12 there must be a Judas, or if this is unfounded, the accusations I mean.
What I try to do is to be very honest with myself, and I try to tell the truth at any point in time. If not, Jesus had 12 apostles, and Judas decided to make himself a betrayer. And monkey talks in a person now pikin wey carry for back in fit vouch for. So pikin wey carry for belly in fit vouch for, but the one wey carry for back, you don't know what they do. Out of 15,000 people, if I tell you I can account for each and every one of them, then you know that there won't be any need for this discourse. But one thing we try as much as possible to do is to vet every personnel. But you know, vetting is an ongoing process. It just be like the pop music, good girl turn bad. A lot of persons at the point of entry, they are good, but on the job they turn bad. Should I vouch for that kind of person? No, I will not. So I don't have the mandate to vouch for anybody. But what I can say is that NDLE is an extremely professional and elite organization. Our operations are intelligence based, in line with AGJA and international best practices. It's an elite organization. It's a quality organization. And till tomorrow, I will tell you I am proud to be an NDLE officer. For one thing, we have protection for our informants. And we hold our informants with high esteem. And you see, unfortunately, for people that try to disparage us, our process of information gathering is so complex that if you give me information now, I will call my officers. This is where this person has given me an information. They will go there. Another set will go and verify. Another set will go and carry out the operation with somebody that will be appointed that was within the range of that investigation as the raid commander. So the process of linking that information to a particular informant is difficult. It's very difficult. And there will be 1 million houses, and will now enter one house and recover exhibit. So people think, NDLE, they be win show. We don't make mistake in the houses we enter. But the only thing is that sometimes, if we don't move very fast, they would have evacuated the exhibit, but the traces will be there for prosecution.
Okay, and your men, you have said that the possibility that someone may turn a Judas is also.
Yes.
How do you handle such issues? For instance, they get this, during operations, they get access to some of these illicit drugs, and they don't get to deliver everything, that is, account for everything recovered. How do you handle such in the eventuality it's exposed?
I see NDLEA as a very transparent, you know, like the proverbial goldfish. It's difficult for you to hide in a glass. A certain chairman of this agency was prosecuted
and
convicted. So it's not as if the organization is protecting anybody. If you have decided to be on the side of the law and you now turn against the law, fine. It's your cup of tea. It's your cup of tea. And a certain head of this organization, it was within a public domain, his conviction and years of imprisonment. So one of the things that makes me very happy with NDLEA is that our channel of investigation is so unique, very complex, and intelligence-led.
Having said that, let's return to trafficking. With all the things NDLEA does, we still have people who are, confident enough to still traffic drugs. Some persons have attributed that to the evolving dynamics of drug trafficking. Whether that is true or not is yet to be established. Now, as it changes, does it not overwhelm the organization, the agency?
No.
Okay.
On the contrary, it takes two to tango. Have you ever watched this dance? You know it's a dance, tango. What is tango about? A male
Flamingo
and female. You must synchronize with the procession and with adequate timing so that it's called ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta. At every point, if you miss each dance step, you will step on the toes of whom you're dancing with. So you can't discuss NDLEA in isolation. That is why I want to bring in the government. When I say this, I don't know what will happen tomorrow. I expect more involvement from ENUGU state government. You see, we are paying lip service to the drug fight in this state. I'm just telling you the truth.
When you say this state, it's not actually passing a message because this is an international television on the cable network. So they will know which state you're talking about.
ENUGU state.
Okay.
Because that is where I'm working. We have met the governor, we have met the wife, we have met all relevant stakeholders. But you see, I want to tell you, because I'm equally on the field. Drug problem is not omocho is an issue. There must be a policy, and since I assumed this unit, I've told the Commissioner for Education that drug awareness, you see, with all this internet and all these things we are pressing, children learn the things they are not supposed to learn from the internet. So if you say a child is not supposed to know about drugs, you are deceiving yourself. You should let the child know the dangers of drugs and what he's supposed to do when he sees a drug situation. Drug awareness should be infused into the primary, secondary, and university curriculum, so that the children, if you see picking way eye red, the lips dry, the eyes watery, you know that is into drugs, and running nose, and talking incoherently. It's all around us, though. And prominent people are getting involved out of frustration, whatever it is, I don't know. It is, you go to most burials now, you see them selling cannabis, selling murmi for wake keep. And the government does not think it's a problem. So it's a problem. It's an issue. So our rehab, we have met the governor, we have met up the people that matter, and every day a minimum of 20 persons come to say, I want to rehabilitate my child. He's in the university, he has dropped out, he enters secret cult, he doesn't go to school anymore, he's always in his room.
And in that case, they say, how do you, because I understand that in your office as rehab and counseling person,
yes,
you do not treat this matter as a criminal case.
No, it's not a criminal case.
So, how do you handle this person who uses drugs and has become dependent on drugs and is a cultist?
These are two things.
Okay.
And I want us to streamline them and separate them. Somebody that uses drug is not a criminal. He's a victim of the system.
And that's when rehabilitation.
Yes, yes. You don't stigmatize the person. It's just like somebody that is mad. Whatever you accuse the person or attack the person on, you're just wasting your time. It's just like a learner. Somebody who knows how to drive, and is learning how to drive. So if you jam your motor, the government will hold you. So a drug dependent person is a patient. The same way you treat patients in the hospital. So why should you want to prosecute a patient? You first of all treat the patient. And as I'm talking with you, a lot of patients are on the rise in Enugu State. A lot of young men and young women. As I talk with you now, we have dedicated a part of our female cell to rehabilitate young men. And a lot of females are coming along. But we don't have space. You can't put a male and a female. Because what you want to achieve, if you put them together, you will lose it. So we have begged, 11 months now, we are begging Enugu State government, give us a rehabilitation center. Call on well-meaning individuals. We have space. We have gone to almost all the Igwes in Enugu. The Council of Igwes should put 5 million and give us a male and female rehabilitation center. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I understand you perfectly well. At some point you talked about community help, and now you have brought it up again. How much help, how much collaboration actually is possible with communities?
I don't know. In Enugu, Abi?
Anywhere else, it doesn't have to be Enugu.
I'm working in Enugu, so I can only talk about Enugu. So what I expect government to do, because
you're leaving communities to talk about government, sir.
who does government represent? Government represents communities. They don't work in isolation. They don't work in isolation. Okay. You see, we are looking at government policies and directions. As I talk with you now, you go to schools to educate the children, and they'll tell you that government have said, don't talk to our children. There is a policy. We want to see the Commissioner for Education, and he promised us that he's going to relax that Thursdays we can talk to the children or to the pupils. And I'm yet to see the circular. It's over 3 months or 4 months. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So if you don't talk to the children to identify, because you see, drug abuse has trickled down to primary schools.
Primary schools?
Yes.
How do they possibly?
Off camera, I will give you some names of primary schools within this area. Within this area, I will give you names of some secondary schools. Just go from 11. You see that smoking cannabis at the back of the school. I don't want to, you see, I don't want to be quoted. Let it not be as if I'm stigmatizing some schools. Some very old schools in ENUGU, go by 11. They are smoking cannabis. Secret cults. We thought it was a university thing. Primary schools have imbibed it. So if you people don't see a problem to it, it's a problem. So that is why I want to disabuse the issue of money. It's not money. That's what I tell people. You can't give me money. You can't give me money to do my work. Create the enabling environment. And let us tell the people, don't give us money. We are not interested in money. We went to an ENUGU, that is the Council of Chiefs. And he was so impressed. And he decided to make exercise books with drug message to his people. And this ENUGU brought youths that are abusing drugs for rehabilitation. And after they were rehabilitated, he sent them abroad and gave them a tasking. In fact, I'll mention this ENUGU because he has influenced us. He has infected us positively. Ogidi Gada. Ogada Gidi. I don't know him. And at every point in time, he comes around to ask us, what do we do? I want my community quality person, quality man. He's so interested in the well-being. And that is what we expect government to do.
Before we let you go, I'd like you to utilize our platform to talk to young people, because you, as a result of you handling the rehab unit, rehab and counseling unit here, you have interfaced with quite a number of young persons who are already dependent on drugs, and the issue has become problematic with them. So what do you tell them, to let them see the dangers of drug abuse?
First of all, like the proverbial preacher that will tell you, do not sin, that the kingdom of God is at hand. I want to tell youths, please, there are so many positive things that you occupy your time. Stay away from drugs. It doesn't make you macho. It doesn't give you any positive vibe. Stay away from it. Like the proverbial Moses in the Bible. Know where you're coming from. Think about your father. Think about your mother. Think about your circumstance. And look at it that you have to make your parents proud. Please, engage in positive things. Will upgrade your family. Like I tell these youth, if the integrity of your family stops, if the buck stops at your table negatively, what betide you? So keep your family lineage integrity alive. Stay away from drugs. There is nothing good about drugs and drug addiction. It ends in woes and bitterness and tears. Youth should organize themselves into creative things. Create an agricultural, rain don dey fall now. You should organize themselves. Go to government, give us yield. Let us plant. Give us land, let us plant. So that at the end of the day, you know that you're harvesting cassava, corn, beans, and whatever. Stay away from drugs.
Stay away from drugs. That caps it up on our conversation on Politicals this night. Operations of the NDLEA was our focus, and the Deputy State Commander Rehab Counseling, NDLEA ENUGU State Command, Ounwa Ibezimanko Mado, was our guest on this. Thank you very much, sir, for talking to us.
The pleasure is mine. Anytime, any day, I want to come here and spread the crusade.
Do stay tuned for the next segment.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Welcome back. This is still Signature Evening. Thank you for staying with us. In the news, as the country looks forward for another general elections come 2027, the House of Representatives is considering a bill to amend the 2022 Electoral Act to make voting mandatory for all Nigerians who have attained the age of 18. The bill, which is sponsored by the Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, proposes a 6 months imprisonment or a fine of not more than 100,000 naira for any registered voter convicted for failing to exercise his or her franchise during national and state elections, as well as local council polls in the country. Correspondent Raymond Ken Bata went to the streets to sample the opinion of some citizens on the proposed bill.
For me, it's not really necessary because you know the way the country is now, no transparency. So I really believe that if I really want to vote for someone, I'll do it freely, not being under duress, like forcing the president to do what So the law it's not just, how will I say, it's not necessary. And the government doesn't really have that right to force us to do what we don't want to do.
So personally, I feel as individuals in this country, but it's like your responsibility. Like by that age of 18, you should have the voter's card. But I don't see any reason why I should prosecute me for not voting, because the way the country is going now, sir, even if I vote, sir, like if you have to say, oh, even if I vote, my vote might not really count. Look at the last election, people's votes were not counted. There were cases of like rigging and stuff like that. So I feel like having the voter's card is a responsibility. Yes, you should have, because it's a form of like self-identification too, that you belong to the country. But saying that you're persecuting me for not voting, when deep down we know that this my vote might not even count, is wrong. I feel like the government should work on modifying, they should work on redefining the INEC body rather than prosecuting us. So they should, instead of saying they will prosecute us for not voting because of the mindset we have that our votes will not count, they should work on working on the INEC body that influences the decisions.
The truth is that we're supposed to vote, but I don't think that if anyone does not vote, we will prosecute and arrested. Because number one, sometimes our vote is not used to count. That's the reason why everybody bias in terms of vote. If they can promise us that the election will count, our vote will be count, people will come out. And the INEC have to turn back for our vote to count. Because always, all the years that our vote have not used to count, they need to turn back on their vote. Because the ones that we do, we see outcome of that will not work perfectly.
I voted PDP for Peter Obi when he came under PDP as a vice presidential candidate. I also voted for the last election because of the obedient movement, because we all want to see something new in Nigeria. However, however, I would like to say that I don't think votes count. So if votes count, we want to vote and we'll be happy to vote and choose the right leader. But in a situation whereby you just go and vote and we are thinking that they will transmit it electronically from the beavers that, to the right, from there to the board, or as the case may be, not knowing that everything is still on paper, and which most of the voters are not happy, and they don't believe there is integrity in election. No, I think it's bad, because you have to prove to people that elections are transparent. Because me coming to vote, being on the queue from morning till afternoon, and my vote doesn't count, I know how painful it is, because I would rather use that my time to do something that is productive. However, if votes can count, I think they can go on with the new bill. They should just transmit the vote from the polling unit down to anywhere they are doing it electronically. Yes, or they can use BVN or NIM to do those votes, because we believe that vote doesn't count. I have friends that move from ENUGU to Anambra just to vote, denying themselves from other basic things and their family. However, they came back disappointed, and they strongly believe that their vote doesn't count, that they cannot repeat such mistake. So even if they want to bring a new bill that if you doesn't vote, that you'll be fine, I think they should make sure that there is transparency in the system. And once there is transparency in the system, yes, they can do anything they want to do. But as it stands, me, I cannot just go and vote, because rather I would prefer to be sleeping at my house because of what I experienced in the last election. So I'm just disappointed in everything called INEC. I'm totally disappointed, because you cannot get a right leader without making this the process of getting that right leader transparent.
The fact that there are so many registered voters, and it's not everybody that registered that have access to the PVC. Like personally I've done registration on several occasions, but I've not gotten access to my own personal voter's card, which means you can't guarantee the fact that when somebody comes to vote, the vote will be counted, because there are on several occasions when the candidate don't have access to the voter's card, which means that voter's card can be used without the person that owns it participating in the election. So there should be a law that regulates, or there should be a law that gives access to those that registered to easily access their PVC. There should be enough security to guarantee the lives of the citizens, because so many polling units cannot guarantee the safety of the citizens in terms of the crisis that occurs in the polling units. I've done registration in ENUGU here. In ENUGU, I've not gotten access to my PVC. I did it in my state. I'm from Kogi State. I did it in my state years back. I didn't have access to my PVC. So when you talk about even those that are of age that are supposed to be voting, they don't really have the confidence in the system, because the system is not providing the medium through which they can easily access their PVC. There are so much stress in order to get PVC. Going to polling unit, they will direct you to another locations. From another locations, that is how they will frustrate you before you can gain access to the PVC. It becomes so cumbersome and stressful.
The law is not necessary to the people. You cannot come out and start telling the people that if you on election day, if you didn't come out and vote, they will arrest you and they jail you for 6 months. It's not done in any country in this world. You understand? Everybody has the right to vote. You understand? So it's not a must that you will force someone to come out and vote. The reason why I said that it's not a must is because years back, we have been coming out to vote. After voting, they will not give us the right person that we voted for. You understand? I think the people is tired. You understand? Except something is done about it, then people can start coming out again to vote. It's by allowing the people to make a choice to vote out who they want as their president or as their governor. You understand? That is the only way they can gain the people's trust back. The wrong thing they are doing is, after promising us that they will give us steady lights, building roads for us, at the end, those things they promised to us will not achieve it. We will not even see any of it. You understand? So I think it's high time we need to make a right choice if they want.
The PPSMB was created to address the unique challenges facing post-secondary education in Enugu State. The board, under the leadership of Father Mbodili, has set for itself the task of policy assurance, staff development, and infrastructure development. The monitoring exercise took the team, led by Father Hilary Mbodili, to some schools in Ezagu local government area where it monitored the conduct of the ongoing senior school certificate examination. The team checked for adherence to examination guidelines, cleanliness, and overall atmosphere in the examination halls. The PPSMB chairman, while addressing students at Community Secondary School and Model Secondary School in Olo, emphasized the importance of hard work and good reading habits to improve their academic performance and ensure a brighter future for themselves and their community. He also warned students against engaging in examination malpractices, which he said undermines the integrity of the education system.
I want to warn you and to advise you. Begin now to cover your syllabus, begin now to read your books. It is no longer business as usual. It's not only in Model Olo. There will be nowhere to run into. If you go to private school, we are there. If you go to mission school, that's where we are based. If you go to public school, that is also our permanent settlement. So there is nowhere to run to. The only shortest cut is to read your books, read your notes. For today, we found your students contributing to 2,000 naira in order to aid my practice. And the truth is that we cannot smile. We are changing. The supervisor is going and facing panel in this board tomorrow morning. She's facing panel. She continues as a teacher. That's good for her. The person coming to contribute. So, and this indictment, we don't pretend about it. Principals were warned to remain in the hall. Your principal was not in the hall. He's also indicted. He's also coming to the board tomorrow morning.
Father Mbodili encouraged teachers to provide necessary support and guidance to their students to enable them excel in their studies and grow into responsible citizens and leaders.
My dear teachers, for those of you who are still making effort, I want to encourage you. Be diligent, teach the students, do your best. Avoid our trouble by coming to school. We have done it for 2 years, concentrating on punishing offenders. From June 2025, we are bringing a new page, rewarding the most diligent, school after school. That's what we are concentrating on. I'm not talking about 5,000 reward or 10,000 reward. We are going to establish an elaborate reward to reward those who are very diligent, those who have never missed work a whole term. School principals will give us their names. Those who are able to cover their syllables, school principals will give us their names. Such diligent people will come to the headquarters and be rewarded zone after zone, and it's going to be handsome reward.
The exam monitoring exercise is a testimony to the commitment of the PPSMB to ensure improved standards of education in the state, as well as the integrity of the examination process. In Enugu, Ugonne Owalu, reporting for Signature TV.
For sanitation, to clear the environment, and then some things for the market women and then the market men also. So that's why we're at Okobo Junction. And that's is a deal that we can, is something that we can do. That is a compulsory something that we can do every month and every Thursday of the month, of the week also. So we come out to perform our CDS, the community development to the society and then to the Abia State State and Obingua to be precise.
We came here to do our monthly CDS, Community Development Service, and I'm under the Disaster Management CDS. And we are here at Okobo Market to also advise the women on the dangers of flood and also how to keep the environment clean, as Alex Oakley is already trying to make Abia clean. So we try to put our quotas into this. My experience in Abia as a core member, it has not been easy, but we thank God, especially with the language barrier. As a Yoruba girl, I'm trying to use pidgin English to rock everywhere, but small we dey learn Igbo.
What we use to get to Okobo Junction the way it is today is diplomacy and constructive engagement. Because we've been engaging with the public here, the traders, the transporters, the riders, and all interested in Okobo Junction. We've been engaging with them, and I think it's reading a great result. Everywhere is quite covered, and in every area and zone that we are doing within their, looking at the peculiar nature of that area, and I want to say that we are doing tremendously well.
The hospital facilities and other paraphernalia of the UNTH ENUGU practically moved from the hospital to the Umuchibo and Umuenewene health centers in ENUGU East local government area. And that way, the Department of Nursing Sciences wanted to make their impact felt in the community in line with their professional calling, ambience of the cultural dance. In commemoration of the 6 weeks community health outreach in the academic calendar of the nursing department, the Umuchibo and Umuenewene health centers were part of the celebrations. The occasion brought to an end the successful public health service rendered to these communities by the University of Nigeria nursing students. The ceremony was attended by a large number of health practitioners, nursing mothers, nursing students, administrative staff, lecturers, community members, and their leaders, parents, and spouses. The event commenced with free public health services, followed by an intensive health session where health experts shared diverse knowledge on the importance of breastfeeding in promoting infant health and development.
This is like our grand finale where we take care of people to know like their health status, and then we give free drugs to people in the community. I've attended to up to 30 people so far.
It's a great opportunity. It's wonderful because most of the time the issues we have is that people will have sickness, but the cost of getting diagnosed and so no, the right treatment has always been. So this is actually helpful and is very good.
Associate Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences and Technology at the UNTH, Dr. Ijomi Ilo, in her welcome address, expressed appreciation to the initiators of the Community Health Week. She said it was a wonderful idea that it was included in the department's calendar, stating that it's a way of bridging the gap between health experts and the community.
Health Day of the Community Health Unit of the Department of Nursing Sciences, UNEC, was initiated by Professor Mrs. Ijoma Ihemere in an effort to bridge the gap between theory and practice for our students. It started as a feasibility study organized by Professor Ijoma Ihemere and Professor Ezendoka of blessed memory. The first annual Health Day was held in 1998 at Ubogo here in Nike.
Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences and Technology, Professor Charles Ezema, noted that the community health program provides a valuable opportunity for students to contribute to the communities.
Makes great impact on both economic recovery, reduction in health problems, morbidity and mortality rate, because so many people could not afford the cost of medical care, so that when the health care is taken to the community, so they benefit. So they are here to assess, diagnose, and treat especially children and elderly, people that have cases.
Lecturers from the department emphasized the numerous benefits associated with breastfeeding, urging nursing mothers to practice exclusive breastfeeding.
Win for the mother is a win for the child,
is a win for the community, is a win for the family. A win for the child. A healthy child is a child who is exclusively breastfed and continuously complementary feeding. And this child is less prone to illnesses. This child is healthy, mighty, strong, immunity-wise, and every other.
According to the nursing students, breastfeeding is essential for the health and well-being of babies, mothers, and the community at large, as highlighted by their shared insights during the event.
Breastfeeding is of utmost importance to an infant. First of all, I'll talk about colostrum, the first milk, the yellowish colored milk that a mother produces first. It gives the baby like a balanced diet. The baby doesn't need any other thing. Also, it gives antibodies, like it gives the first line of defense an infant needs. So a baby that is constantly taking breast milk, that's exclusive breastfeeding, will not suffer any illness that is like rampant among children.
What inspired the community health is actually to reach out to the community, teach them things they need to know about health, help the community, build our community. Our team for this event particularly is breastfeed a child, feed the community. So for this particular program, we brought it to like teach the community, especially young mothers, pregnant women and the rest, how to like feed a child, right? To breastfeed a child, take care of the child till the baby is 6.
By emphasizing the importance of breastfeeding, the nursing students aim to inspire positive change